at the top of the Big 12 with Tier 1 teams. Those are national championship contenders. There are none in this league.
This is a team that I don't think is crazy to think could get 8 or 9 wins. I wouldn't bet it. I wouldn't run to the window.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We've got an exciting topic for today's video. We're diving into one of the most surprising and thrilling stories in college football this season, the incredible success of the Colorado Buffaloes. Nobody saw this coming, not even the big names in sports media like 247 Sports, ESPN, CBS Sports, and Bleacher Report, who all had Colorado finishing in the bottom half of the Big 12 Conference. So let's unpack how the Buffaloes defied all expectations and made their mark this season. You won't want to miss this.
This is Plummer Football. Give it everything.
Sports Illustrated predicted Colorado to finish 11th in the Big 12. They pointed out that Colorado had given up the most sacks in the NCAA with a whopping 56 count. As for the Buffs' defensive secondary, they were described as abysmal, and with all the new transfers coming in, Sports Illustrated had serious doubts on whether Coach Prime could pull it all together. Bleacher Report projected Colorado to win just one more game than they did in 2023, predicting the Buffaloes to finish with a 5-7 record. That would mean Colorado would miss bowl season again, and Ms. Peggy would not be going bowling during her monumental 100th birthday year. Like many others, Bleacher Report believed Colorado would be sitting at home in Boulder, watching the postseason next to a warm fireplace. 247 Sports was another major publication that pegged the Buffaloes to miss out on bowling in Coach Prime's second season. 247 Sports also predicted a 5-7 record and a lackluster 11th place finish in the Big 12 group of 16. Their assessment included a 3-game slide versus Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State to complete the season. 247 Sports also cautioned of the potential scrutiny that Coach Prime and the Buffaloes would face if they were not able to make good with the incoming players from the transfer portal and make strides forward from a 4-8 season. CBS Sports took it a step further in their evaluation of Colorado, listing them as one of the most overrated teams in the Big 12. They advised against anyone getting on the Colorado hype train, citing how, unlike Coach Prime's first season, where the Buffaloes started the season with 3 straight wins, this year the month of September could be vastly different with 2 revenge games against Nebraska and Colorado State. Furthermore, CBS Sports analyst Jerry Palm even made a bolder prediction, saying that Coach Prime, in the event of another underwhelming season, would be going into 2025 on the coaching hot seat. Not to be outdone, even media giant ESPN, with all their fancy sports analysts, couldn't forecast the turnaround Colorado football was about to make. Sadly enough, of the 16 teams in the Big 12, they had Colorado listed to finish 14th. They even spared enough ink to take a shot at the Colorado football program, describing Coach Prime's operation as a mere marketing machine. Of all their Big 12 teams expected to be on the rise, Colorado's name was not mentioned in that conversation either. We cannot emphasize enough how all these major sports publications got it wrong about Coach Prime and Colorado. They all expected Colorado to finish at the bottom of the conference, not even to make a bowl with 6 wins required. And to be honest, most Colorado fans couldn't envision the success the Buffaloes are currently having now either. Granted, a fair amount of Colorado fans thought that their Buffs could improve and get the extra 2 wins to make a bowl game, but how many people fathomed Colorado being arguably the best team in the Big 12, winning 10 games and playing in the Big 12 championship game? Not to mention the Buffaloes have a chance to make it to the college football playoffs. It's absolutely a wild thought considering the speed at which this is all occurring. Go ahead and sniff the smelling salt, because this is exactly what the Colorado Buffaloes are poised to accomplish over the next 6 weeks. Colorado football's progress in 2024 is impressive to say the least. Just 2 years ago, this Colorado football team went 1-11, losing by a margin of 29 points or more in every defeat. The turnaround under Coach Prime's regime in just 2 seasons is worthy of national acclaim. The 2 blips on the record this season came against Nebraska and Kansas State. Early in the season, when the Buffaloes traveled to Lincoln, Nebraska, the Buffaloes seemed caught in the headlights as the pageantry of Nebraska football in front of 90,000 fans was on full display. Their second loss came at home to Kansas State, a game the Buffaloes certainly had a chance to win, but allowed the victory to slip away in the closing minutes of the game. Credit to Kansas State, though, they unleashed a devastating penetrating run game led by DJ Giddens and capitalized in the passing game when it mattered most. Of all the wins the Buffaloes have racked up thus far, the most important of them all may be the remarkably late-game heroics that took place against Baylor. Colorado squeaked by to get this crucial win, and in hindsight, a demoralizing loss here could have altered the trajectory of what is turning out to be a remarkable season. The Buffs have already checkmarked their first team goal of becoming bowl eligible and getting Ms. Peggy to a bowl game. The Colorado football team has worked tremendously hard, beginning in the offseason with Coach Mo and up to this point. The team is well deserving of their current position, which is a chance to play in the Big 12 title game. BYU, Iowa State, and Arizona State are all still in the hunt for the Big 12 title. If Colorado emerges as the Big 12 champions, they will have a chance to reach the college football playoffs. Whether or not they will be seeded is going to be a matter of contention over the next few weeks, as the college football playoff rules, in our opinion, still needs to be revised to make sure the top teams in college football are seeded from 1 through 4. Bolstered by the rising momentum, Coach Prime has already come out and said that it's not about a bowl game anymore. It's about the game, and that game he speaks of is the national championship game, playing for all the marbles. Who could have imagined? It sounds like a fairy tale story, but the Buffaloes are living it out for real. So get your popcorn ready and keep watching as college football history unfolds in the prime era right before your eyes. All the success couldn't have happened unless there were some major changes to Colorado's total defense that ranked at 130th of 133 teams in the nation. In 2024, Colorado's defense has been balling, and with all the firepower on the offensive side of the ball, no one expected that it would be the defense that would emerge as the strength of the Colorado football team. Starting up front, despite the loss of Deion Hayes to injury, the Buffaloes have been physical, leading the way in the Big 12 and ranking 6th nationally in team sacks. On the edge, key players like BJ Green and Samuel Okunlola were expected to make an impact, and they have delivered. On the interior defensive line, Chidozie Nwankwo has lived up to his name as the block bully, eating up multiple blockers and allowing the linebackers to hunt. Shane Cokes and Amari McNeil have had their moments as well with a well-rounded unit. Then there is some opportunistic playmaking also among this pack of dogs. Tajay McCoy, Arden Walker, and Keaton Wade have emerged as prolific talents that are quick off the ball and impactful with the playing time they are given. With these hungry athletes, the pass rush will continue to be a strength for the Buffaloes going into next season. Standing in the midst of this cloud of dust and organized chaos is Coach Warren Sapp, Damione Lewis, and Vincent Dancy. All three of these men set the tone, studying together, eating together, and coaching together in one unified voice. Their example has spread throughout the defensive front, teaching the players that the best way to hunt is as a pack. One man is not good enough. The unit hunts as a pack of wild dogs, and the success on the football field is evident. At the start of the season, Coach Hart gave Trevor Woods a shot at linebacker before finally settling in on the tandem of Nikhai Hill-Green and Levanta Bentley. This arrangement was game-changing for the Buffaloes' defense overall. The Buffaloes have only allowed 2 running backs over 100 yards this season, and the physical play at the linebacker spots are downright scary for opponents. Every game, Hill-Green seems to knock the snot out of someone. His ferocious hits can be heard echoing way up into the stadium stands. Coach Hart, the linebackers coach, deserves a lot of credit for getting these guys in the right position and preparing them with the right mindset when they step onto the football field. Most recently, this downhill tandem of Bentley and Hill-Green have evolved into more than just efficient run stoppers, but have recorded 2 interceptions in just as many weeks. The Colorado secondary is also a significant force to a surprising good defense. With Coach Prime at the helm, Colorado has attracted premier cornerbacks and safeties to the squad. So confident are the Buffaloes in their secondary personnel, they often play man-to-man coverage relying on the exceptional skill of their defenders. So far, it's paid off, allowing defensive coordinator Robert Livingston to be more creative as he dials up blitzes that can come from seemingly anywhere. As a whole, Colorado's defensive backs have a physical element to their games. We all know that Travis will be Travis, and he has been supported on the other side by DJ McKinney, who has played physically against the run and has held it down in pass defense despite bearing most of the targets. At safety, Cameron Silman Craig is the emotional leader of the defense, playing with great heart and determination each game. He does well in pass defense, he is a good blitzer, and you're not surprised to see him on top of or near the total tackles list each game. Shiloh Sanders has been causing headaches in more than one way, but he's had more impactful moments. Having Shiloh's physical presence in the secondary is reassuring not only for his teammates, but for Buff fans as well. When he was out with injury, Carter Stoutmeyer stepped up and played well, showcasing Colorado's depth in the secondary. Preston Hodge and Colton Hood have also proven themselves to be reliable players for the Buffaloes. Hodge is excellent in coverage, taking away the opponent's slot receivers. He can mix it up pretty well against the run, too. Colton Hood, one of our favorite defenders, plays with a lot of skill, but comes with a defining physical presence that adds grit to the defense. He can play with finesse and then turn around and hit you like you stole something from him. He recorded a couple of picks with limited playing time, and is now contributing on special teams returning kicks. He has been a tremendous acquisition for the Buffaloes out of Auburn. Coordinating all the moving pieces is Robert Livingston, who is thriving in his first year of college football after spending 9 seasons in the NFL as a defensive backs coach with Cincinnati Bengals. He's made a great transition leading the Buffaloes from the 130th ranked defense to the 59th. That's an impressive leap, improving by 55% over last year's performance. You can only imagine what he'll do in another year or two with the talent slated to arrive in Boulder. Coach Livingston's name is currently circulating as one of the best hires of the 2024 season. The Buffaloes will miss him when he soon becomes a head coach elsewhere, but for now he's in Boulder, and he'll continue making the halftime adjustments that have evolved Colorado into one of the nation's most stingy second-half defenses. On the offensive side, the offensive line was a sight for sore eyes last season, and addressing this problem was one of the focal points of the offseason for Colorado. Coach Prime brought in former Minnesota Vikings tackle Phil Loadholt, who was a seasoned pro who famously blocked the way for Adrian Peterson during his historic run for 2,000 yards in the NFL. Loadholt's experience and steadiness has transferred over to a rebuilt offensive line. One noteworthy feat is how Coach Loadholt has performed wonders preparing true freshman Jordan Seaton for action in record time. Seaton is the first ever player at Colorado to start at tackle as a true freshman. Well on his way to becoming a freshman All-American, Seaton will be the centerpiece for this offensive line going forward, yet he is still just one cog of change within the line. Coach Loadholt rotates his linemen from position to position based on need, and if you're not getting the job done, he won't hesitate to bench you either. This no-nonsense approach has worked well for the Buffaloes, getting the best out of Tyler Brown, Khalil Benson, and Justin Mayers. All 3 of these linemen can be seen playing multiple positions throughout the season. Though not a towering figure, Kareem Harden has emerged as the team's starting right tackle, which is a testament to his hard work and attention to detail. At center, Hank Zelinskas has made way for an inspiring story around Cash Cleveland, a preferred walk-on from IMG Academy in Florida, who has now taken the starting center position and is doing quite well, the offense not skipping a beat. Cleveland is teaming up once again with Jordan Seaton, his former teammate at the IMG Academy, a familiarity that should only help the line's progression. At wide receiver, the Buffaloes are stacked, but perhaps the most impactful new face is LeJontay Wester, who transferred in from FAU. He is the vocal and emotional leader of the receiver corps, and without his presence, the Buffaloes would have lost to the Baylor Bears. He's been a reliable target for Shedder Sanders, and his speed and agility make him a nightmare for defenders to track down. Travis Hunter remains Sanders' favorite target. The stellar wide receiver is on pace for 1,000 yards and double-digit touchdowns. With the team's overwhelming success, Hunter is in great position to win the Heisman Trophy and is currently the odds-on favorite to close out the season. Will Shepard is a great weapon in the receiver room. He is a big receiver that runs well and can make the contested catch consistently. He got off to a slow start, but has been building more and more chemistry within the offense. His potential is sky high, and he is perhaps the best example of a prototype NFL wide receiver on the squad. The running game still needs some work, but the Buffs are better in this area than they were last season. The tandem of Isaiah Augustave and Dallin Hayden are doing just enough to keep defenses on their heels. As the season progressed, Pat Shurmur has incorporated plenty of wide receiver screens, getting the ball out of Sanders' hands quickly, and this is really an extension of the running game. It's a good adaptation by Shurmur because the Buffs have a number of receivers that are really tough to chase down in space. Speaking of Pat Shurmur, he wasn't the sexiest hire when it was announced, but he's doing well as the coordinator. Despite limited success on the ground, Shurmur has stayed committed to the run, which is a positive change that we did not see last season. Under Shurmur, the Buffaloes routinely put up 30 or more points per game and have a top 10 passing offense. Indeed, it has been a magical season for Colorado. That being said, making it to and potentially winning the Big 12 championship will be a huge accomplishment for Coach Prime and Buffs Nation, especially in such a short period of time. As it sits right now, the Buffaloes have already elevated themselves for the next few years in terms of high school recruiting, NIL agreements, national television coverage, and university prestige. The future looks bright for Colorado, and even if the playoffs are not what we imagined, you can bet that the Buffaloes will be a perennial college football playoff contender for years to come. Before the 2024 season, Major sports outlets like Sports Illustrated, Bleacher Report, 247 Sports, CBS Sports, and ESPN predicted a dismal year for Colorado football, projecting a bottom-tier Big 12 finish and no bowl eligibility. Critics doubted Coach Prime's ability to unite a roster built largely from the transfer portal, with CBS Sports even labeling the Buffs overrated and hinting at a coaching hot seat for 2025. However, Colorado has defied expectations, securing a bowl berth and a shot at the Big 12 championship. Despite early stumbles against Nebraska and Kansas State, the Buffaloes have showcased resilience, including a pivotal late-game win over Baylor. Now tied for first in the Big 12, Colorado is eyeing not only a conference title, but also a potential college football playoff spot, with Coach Prime boldly setting sights on a national championship. What seemed like a fairy tale is becoming reality as the Buffaloes rewrite their story and chase history. Colorado's 2024 season has been a revelation, fueled by a dominant defense, a resurgent offense, and exceptional coaching. The defense, led by key players like BJ Green, Chidozie Nwankwo, and Travis Hunter, has become the team's backbone, ranking 6th nationally in sacks and showing versatility under defensive coordinator Robert Livingston. The linebacker tandem of Nikhai Hill-Green and Levanta Bentley, along with a talented secondary featuring DJ McKinney and Cameron Silman-Craig, has made the unit one of the stingiest in the nation. On offense, a revamped line under coach Phil Lodeholt protects Shadur Sanders, whose connection with targets like Hunter and LeJontay Wester drives a top 10 passing attack. Despite challenges in the run game, Pat Shurmur's offense still scares defenses. And though the college football playoff remains an uncertain goal, Colorado has already cemented itself as a national force with a bright future under Coach Prime. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a comment below with your thoughts on Colorado's season and what you think the future holds. Your insights make our community stronger. If you haven't subscribed to our channel already, do it now and you'll benefit with more blanket coverage of the Colorado Buffaloes. There you have it. So until next time, as always, give it everything.